Okay, welcome. This video is about invoices, how to create them, how to void them, how to apply payments, etc. Invoices are the business end of things. Now, we invoice work as soon as it is completed, not when we collect cash. We invoice as soon as the job is completed. We do that because otherwise your job board will remain full and messy. You don't want that. You don't want your work in progress figures to be all skewed, and you don't know what's work in progress, what's completed. It's much easier. This whole system, our point of sale, everything is based around when things are completed, you invoice them. So, how do we create an invoice? Very, very simple. Basically exactly the same as creating a work in progress. So, we'll go to our sales screen. And just like a work in progress or a work order, you can create an invoice in two methods. You can either convert a work order to an invoice, or you can create an invoice straight away. So if I was to create an invoice straight away, just like a work order, I would click on this arrow on the new folder and I would create an invoice. Very simple. And funnily enough, test customer 1 gets another workout. So normally if you're doing this, it's for shipping or something along those lines. So I'll do shipping just so I can actually illustrate something to you as well. Be very careful with shipping. Shipping in our system does not automatically charge GST. You need to remember to tick tax 1. Otherwise, you're giving people a 10% discount. Now, shipping is a special item in EMeBoss. You do not get charged royalties on shipping. So, just be careful. Now, that's creating an invoice. Oops. Shipping. We don't really need to put a job box in it because we're done. Now, whenever you create an invoice, it's going to come up with this little warning screen. As soon as something is created or converted to an invoice in EMeBoss, it is locked down. You can't make any changes to it. Or sorry, you can make some changes, you can't make many. You can't change any of this information. You can add a few notes, you can change a few little bits up here. But anything to do with money is locked down. So if you're creating an invoice for a job that's just been done, don't convert it to an invoice until you've spoken to the customer and told them that it's ready for collection. The amount of times that you call someone and let them know it's ready for collection and then they ask if you can ship it to them is amazing. You've already converted it to invoice and then you have to add $10 to it, which you can't do. It's invoiced, it's locked. That's the price it is, it can't be changed. So, it comes up with this little warning. As soon as it's an invoice, it's locked down. Done. Save. Okay. Just like a work in progress, apply payment. Now it doesn't actually mention a deposit. Now it's talking about payment because the job is finished. So payment, exactly the same. Cash, credit, EMeBoss, debit, credit card, Visa, save. Now it comes up with a nice little paid thing here. When we go to print, go to print invoice, scroll down, it is nice and obvious, big red paid symbol on there. Okay, that's one way to create an invoice. other way would be to search for one of your work in progress that you've already done. Just like converting a quote to a work order, you convert a work order to an invoice. Again, the warning pops up, and as I said, you can't change this once it's done. So just be careful before you convert it to an invoice. Okay, so I'm just going to pretend that that's perfect. I then call the customer. So I've closed this screen down and call the customer and just let them know that that's complete, ready for collection. And now they've informed me that they want me to ship it to them. So I'm going to have to reopen this job. And I'll show you what you can do. So yep, you can change the phone number, you can change this stuff. Can't change the customer. Customer's grayed out. Can't change that. Can I change any of this? No. I can highlight lines, but I can't change anything. Can I change quantities? No. That's all locked in. Can I change notes? Yes, I can change the notes. That's it. So all this stuff is locked down. Now this customer's asked for me to ship it to them. What do? Do I create a whole new invoice for $10? No, we can. The easiest way and the best way I would recommend to do this is you duplicate this invoice as a work order. I don't want to recreate the purchase orders and everything because it's already done. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add shipping. Where's it gone? There it is. So one of those at $10 with GST. So it's exactly the same as the other invoice. The only thing is it's going to have a different invoice number. But now I'm going to convert the invoice. Cool. Done. I'm going to save it. It's going to warn me again, but it's all good. Now, the other work in progress had a deposit already paid on it. So I'm going to go back to that one. What I'm going to do is I'm going to try and void this invoice, because I've now got two exactly the same invoice. One's got shipping, one doesn't. I don't want two in there. I don't want to pay royalties on two things, but I'm only really producing one. So I'm going to go convert to void. Although I can't void it as yet because I have money attached to it. So I've got to get rid of this cash. So what I'm going to do, just like in the work in progress, I'm going to void it, I'm going to refund it, and I'm going to unapply it. So this time I will unapply it and create an open credit. So the cash is now gone. Now I will void. Voiding an invoice completely gets rid of it. I can't resurrect this at all. All it does is sit there as a voided invoice. I can duplicate the voided invoice as a quote or a work in progress to work from in future, but I can't resurrect that like a lost quote and a cancelled work order. Okay, so just be mindful of that. They do still show up on your royalty reports, and you still can find them. So they're not actually deleted out of your system, but you can't do anything with it really. It's dead. Once it's dead, it's dead. So it's going to ask for a reason. Wrong price. And you can put a comment in if you want, and save. Okay, so that's voiding an invoice. We've unapplied the payment. Now we're going to go back to the invoice that we just created with the shipping. We're going to apply the payment, and we're going to apply the open credit. And now we see that there's only a balance due of $11, so we can get a credit card payment, or we can get them to pay cash, and we're done. Okay, Now, there's one other little difference with invoices. If you noticed with work in progress, you can print pro forma invoices, and we've got all these other options with the work orders and quotes. With an invoice, you can print the invoice, or you can print a packing slip. So sometimes if you're dealing with franchises or a head office that's sending out uniforms to their different divisions and stuff, they don't want the invoice going to the different divisions. They want all the invoices going to head office. But you need to send them something with the package to tell them exactly what's been sent. Now this is obviously when you choose the packing slip, and my recommendation is always to make sure that as it's packed and sent, you've ticked that it's been sent. So that when it gets to the point of when it gets to its final destination, they see that you have assigned a packing slip, you've ticked that you've sent all these items, so that if someone looks at it and there's one missing, they can go, okay, well, they said that they're all here, has anybody taken any of these? Because that's also a very common thing. A box will turn up with some uniforms in it, staff just start taking them before they're actually allocated, so the person that's ticking off everything will find out that there's 3 short. They'll blame you for sending them 3 less garments than they should have, but it's realistically normally the staff taking them before they're actually given to them. So the packing slip is pretty useful. Alright, that is invoicing. Pretty simple, but yeah, just be careful that locking it down as soon as it's invoiced, you can't really do too much with it. Any questions, as usual, give me a ring, 0433 753 855, or send me an email, nsharples@ufgcorp.com.au.